This will kind of be the vestibule where you'll actually walk into the police department. Then once you come through the door, this will be the records division or the reception division of the organization. So, I mean, there'll be a bulletproof glass in here, but there will be a speaker so you can talk, and the records clerks will be in here, so you know whatever you need or whatever services you need, this is kind of where you'd start. This will be for records. Like off to your left there, kind of this area there will be all record storage. And then out in this part of the area will be where the records clerks will actually sit and work. One of the biggest concerns we have with all the glass on this north-facing side of the building was civilian employees in here without protection. And so that's why we built that 8-foot wall. And that 8-foot wall is all ballistic panels. And that wraps around to the front, to the north end, and then about 2/3 of the way down here on the west and the south. Then on down this corridor will be the patrol sergeants. It'll be a workroom for the patrol officers. They'll actually be able to come in here, and this is where they'll do any kind of processing that they need to do on the computers, whether they're downloading body camera footage, typing a short report, access to forms, anything that they would be needing access to our records management system, anything on the network or the computer network. So, and again, we got 3 of these stations currently at the police department, and they'll have access to 6 stations in here. A bag and tag room. So as patrolmen come in the back door with their evidence, they'll be able to come in here and start to process their evidence. They can create a scan label in here, or it's kind of like what I want to say, a UPC code that you would see at any store. That's how we process our evidence now. So that evidence will be processed, scanned, and then in this opening, it's not installed yet, but will be passed through lockers. So in other words, when I'm done with my evidence, I stick it in here and I lock it, and then the evidence tech over here on the secure side of it can open the locker and take the evidence out of there, which is really going to be super efficient compared to what we do now. This will be the main evidence storage area. These 2 rooms will be for drug storage, gun storage, or vice versa, however we end up laying that out, but that's what these 2 rooms will be for. Probably guns to my right and drugs to my left. Then in here is just there'll be a whole series of shelves in here and racks. And currently, most all of our evidence, not all, but most all of our evidence is in totes, plastic totes. So, and all those totes are numbered and labeled, and those totes will go on those shelves. So, this is where we'll store the majority of our evidence, the vast majority of it. I'd be confident to say it's every bit twice the size, probably twice the size. Looks like these guys are working. There's another room here, but you can start to smell the stuff a little bit. I mean, it's really going to be convenient to have exhaust fans. This will be the break room, the employee break room. It was one of the old vaults. This will be locker rooms and a fitness room. So this is where like treadmills, and we got some weight equipment and that kind of stuff, just a place to try to stay physically fit. So then this way, we'll start on this side. This will be the women's locker room. So this is a very similar layout, except it's just a lot bigger. This will be the men's actual locker room. We're going to have data in all the lockers downstairs. So every officer has a body-worn camera that you have to plug into a docking station so it'll download. Well, those lockers are going to have that technology, so they can charge their flashlights, they can charge their walkie-talkies, their handheld radios, and they can also download their body cameras. That's really about it for the basement. We'll head up to the 2nd floor. Yeah, we're on the 2nd floor of the building now, and it'll be primarily occupied by investigations, drug task force, and police administration. And we're kind of starting over here on the south side of the building, and we'll work our way to the north. A critical incident, and you got the DCI in town, the state patrol, whatever the case may be, this will be an area in which everybody can come in here and work. And it's an area that we don't currently have. We have an upstairs conference room that's super small and doesn't have a lot of capacity or capability to do like multimedia, to multitask with digital media. So it's going to have the capability to do that in here. It's going to really be nice. If you look at almost any new modern police facility, you're going to see that this, for investigators, this bullpen concept is kind of where it's at right now. So we're going to try that concept, and hopefully it'll work just as well for us. Yeah, actually, the view would be about the same. I mean, it's a nice view. It's a nice office. It's going to have adequate space. It's actually smaller than the current chief's office, but I mean, it's adequate space to do what needs to be done, that's for sure. This will be our multi-use room, a training room facility, but it'll be available to the public as well. I mean, if let's say the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, some type of organization has a multimedia presentation that they'd like to do, get a hold of us and check a calendar and find an open time and come in here and use the facility. So for like in-service training, if you will, I mean, it's really difficult right now for us to find space to get everybody, 30, 40 people in the same space to have in-service training. So we'll be able to do that here. Like in the spring when we do officer testing, at least the written portion of that testing can all be done in here. Mm-hmm. So, you know, in the future, it's going to get a lot of use. It's just space that we haven't ever had access to. I mean, inside this building, there will be 27 high-definition cameras that are run from 2 different locations. It'll have RFI card readers at every secure entrance, so not only will we know who's coming and going, but you would know at what time they were coming and going. And there's security features in this building that we've never had access to at the other building. And when you're in this building, unlike it is now, when you come into a secured area, you'll have to sign in. We'll know that you're in here, and then you'll have some type of identification on you so we know who you are and who you're representing. Our scheduled timeline for completion is the second week of May. I believe the exact date scheduled right now is May 11th. Overall, the project's going to have a total cost, including the purchase of the building, about $5.2 million. And we're currently well under budget for the project. We got a long way to go, so you know, we're going to keep this project at or under budget.